It's basement battle time here in Longford. Gus Chapman, the referee, is laying down the law. He is representing Sligo, though he's a Wexford man, out of there a long time. But he's out in the middle there talking to girls from Cavan and Westmeath. On the left, it's Ciara Blundell, number 13 from St. Lomans for Westmeath. And on the right, it's Laura Fitzpatrick, number 6 for Cavan. And the rest of the officials are out there. And Gus is going to do the toss now. And there it goes. And he's letting Cavan call it, and let's see who gives a signal. Well, it looked like Ciara Blundell won it, and I think that means that she's going from left to right. The breeze, I think, is going in the other direction, and we have an expert here because Aoife McDonald is all the way from Donegal, and if anybody knows anything about weather, it's people from Donegal. So the breeze is coming into our faces, so it's kind of thinking in favour of the team playing maybe from right to left, or is it not?
A little bit for the team going right to left, but to be honest, it's a bit of
a nuisance.
Yeah, it is a bit of a nuisance. I don't think it's going to benefit anybody too much. It's probably going to come down to whoever deals with it better.
Exactly. Well, that's another story. We'll come to that, but it's good to have you here, Aoife. Thanks for coming down from Donegal to commentate in this game with me. It's a really, really important game. As I said, it's a basement battle game. The loser goes down. They lose their senior status in the championship for next year, so it's a very big deal. There's a lot on the line here today.
That's it, and you know, sometimes these games are as big as the top games, you know. So whatever team loses today, yeah, they're looking at going back down to intermediate and then having to work their way back up again. And so there's a lot on the line. So I'm expecting a good game with a lot of passion, a lot of aggression in it.
There's been some brilliant games in the relegation playoffs, and I have to say Cavan have had the better of them. I saw them against Tipperary one year, and Tipperary had Aisling Maloney sent off near the end. It was quite controversial, but they came through with a late goal. James Daly was actually over Cavan at the time, and they shocked Tipperary that day. It was around the time Tipperary were winning intermediate championships, but Cavan beat them that day. They sort of ambushed them that day, and down in Virginia I think it was, and then Cavan also beat Westmeath in 2019, and they beat Tyrone in a playoff last year down in Clonus as well. So they have a good record in these games, but you're right, the drama can be fantastic in these games, no more so than last week when Cavan lost to Tipperary, penalty in the last minute. And I'm wondering, you can give me this as a player, I know you were playing last night as well with Glenfin. How'd that go, by the way?
Oh no, I was playing against Glenfin.
Oh, sorry, against Glenfin, of course. How did it go?
We lost by a goal.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I mentioned that. Sorry, I mentioned that. But as a player, I mean, if you're Cavan last week, you put all that effort in, you lose the last minute goal, do you steel yourself to go again, or is it really hard to pick yourself up again?
No, I think it just goes to show you how determined Cavan are to stay up in the senior championship at the end of the day. And, you know, they're going to come out today thinking they were hard done by from the last day, and to be honest, I think it'll actually benefit them, you know, having a good tough game like that recently.
What's interesting too is both goalkeepers have been replaced at the last minute here today, and last week the Cavan girls had Elaine, now I'm going to get this mixed up because they're both called Elaine, but Elaine Brady was in goals last week for that penalty. They replaced her during the week and said Elaine Walsh was coming in. Now they've changed it back and Elaine Brady is coming in. It's handy for all the defenders that they're both called Elaine, I guess. And then for Westmeath, Aoife Temple in goals has been replaced by Ciara Faulkner. So let's have a look at the teams and let's see them while we're looking at Cavan out there in the huddle and their manager Jerry Moan. And Jerry is from Tyrone, of course, and Westmeath have Michael Finneran from Roscommon. There's the Cavan team first of all. So that one change in goals, and I think there's one other one that you were telling me about. 21, Geraldine Sheridan is also in place of Ali Cahill at number 13, or Cahill. I never quite know how to say her name, but Geraldine Sheridan is in, and obviously that's a big one. She is one of their go-to players, so it certainly won't weaken them, let's put it like that.
No, that's it. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out with the goalkeepers being changed, because these days the kickouts are massive. Keeping possession is such a huge part of the game. And, you know, goalkeepers, especially your sub-goalkeepers, they don't often get a lot of game time. So it'll be interesting now to see which team copes better with having their second goalkeeper in.
But psychologically, if you're the Cavan keeper and you've been dropped and then put in again at the last minute, I mean, we don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it does sound a bit strange, you know. So she's got to lift her game again and just put that behind her and just get on with it, I guess, today. And for Westmeath, let's have a look at their team then. As I say, the goalkeeper has changed. That is Ciara Faulkner is in there, and she's of course played quite a bit before, and that's the only change that we know of, and they are going to be up against it today, going on their record so far this year. 8 games, no wins, and their defence and their goalkeeper will be under pressure. They've conceded 25 goals in their 8 games, so a leaky defence. There's so many changes obviously from last year, and to be honest, I'm looking around the back 6 there, and you know, I got used to seeing Westmeath the last few years, and they're not exactly players who've been there all through, so they're obviously part of the transition in there, so it looks like they'll be under pressure today.
Yeah, and you know, both teams are kind of going through a transition period too. Cavan have a lot of very good underage teams coming through, good players from there, but both teams, you know, the team has changed quite a lot in the last couple of years, so it is a transition period, and for whatever team that can stay up and stay in senior, that's going to be a massive benefit for them going forward in the next few years.
I suppose it's the difference between a transition and a clear out, and that's kind of what happened in Westmeath, and it's happened a few times to other intermediate teams, whereas Cavan, they've new players coming in, but it hasn't been an absolute clear out. So would you accept that they're the favourites today?
Yeah, I think Cavan definitely are the favourites. They've got a wee bit more experience as well, and I'd say, just as you say, you know, you're saying there yourself, Westmeath.
We'll pause it for the anthem. A lot at stake then in this relegation playoff. Cavan in recent games, yes, they've lost heavily at times, but they only lost by a point to Tipperary and only by a point to Mayo, whereas Westmeath have shipped some very heavy defeats. They conceded 7-22 against Mayo way back at the start of the league, 6-23 against Dublin, 3-15 against Meath, and they haven't scored a goal. Well, they've only scored 1 goal from play since February. Or rather, they've only scored 1 goal, and it was a penalty, and that was against Meath. So apart from that, they haven't scored a goal since February. So it makes pretty grim reading on the statistics front. But I guess as a player, again, Aoife, you go out today and you just start from scratch.
That's it. There's no other option really. If they want to stay up, they're going to have to go out and just give everything today and forget about what's been happening for the last while and see if they can get a really big performance out of themselves today.
And it is the last game of the year for these teams, so it's a big one. They want to finish on a high, but it's so important for next year. But it is just trying to motivate yourself and get going, but you just don't know what way it's going to go. On the form book, it looks like Cavan, you know, they were very unlucky last week. They've been closer, but you just don't know, so we'll see how it unfolds. If you keep an eye on the tactics, I'll get on with commentating on the game and explain what we're watching, and we will take it from there. The referee is Gus Chapman, and teams are lining up now, and just about everybody else is off the pitch, and we are ready to go. The sun is just about out. It's nice and bright here and good conditions, so no excuses at all. Bit of a breeze coming across, but shouldn't really affect the game in either way. It'll not be a game of two halves, as they say. So Cavan get it right from the throw, and number 8 is Nessa Bird, so she gets possession for Cavan, and number 12 is Aisling Walls. These two teams really know each other well down the years. If you go way back to 2011, 11 years ago, it took a replay in the Intermediate Championship All-Ireland final, and 5 years ago in a playoff as well or a Division 2 final, I think it was actually. They went to a replay that day as well, so they've been used to playing each other down the years. Sinead Green has played in a lot of those games, and she gets forward there, the number 5, and feeds it back to the girl who got the ball earlier on. That is Walls. So a good bright start for Cavan. The captain there plays a little 1-2, and they work it inside here, and there's a collision there. Westmeath player down, the referee says it's okay, play on, and the shot comes off the post, and nobody there for Cavan. The kick came in from Niamh Keenahan, who's been very impressive, one of their fine young players coming through in Cavan, and we know them a little bit better than we know the Westmeath young players, because it was a very established Westmeath team that won the All-Ireland Intermediate Championship last year, and that's what I mean about a clear out. These girls getting their chance now, but they haven't got a few years, and that's what the Cavan girls have. Their younger girls have a little bit more experience, but this is Westmeath on the attack now, and that's Aoife O'Malley, and she plays a 1-2 with Fiona Coyle, but there is the other number 7 coming in, that's Mona Sheridan. And Mona, I don't know if you noticed it, she's a poster girl now. We saw her up in the new posters for, is it Lidl or Support or one of those things. She's been on the billboards around the place as well. So it's been great to see that, and great support as usual from TG4 sponsoring this, and Lidl and everyone else. Everyone's loving ladies Gaelic football at the minute.
It's fantastic to see. It's getting a lot of support, so definitely going in the right direction.
Zukar the other day as well in Croke Park. Now the referee having a word here with the number 9, which is Tracy Dillon, and ticking her, I imagine, there, and just having a word about a challenge there. So she has 1 tick, and if you don't know your rules, you're allowed 2 ticks. The third means you go off into the sin bin. So she's got 1 early on. She needs to watch that. Now this is Blundell, the captain for Westmeath. Tricky corner forward, super player, takes on Kate McIntyre and comes inside, leaves it off. And there's a chance here, but that's a little bit optimistic from, is it Sarah Dillon? It was Sarah, actually. I say optimistic, she's more than capable of scoring from there, but that one dropped into the goalkeeper's arms, and Elaine Brady coped with that well. Your thoughts early on?
Yeah, so Westmeath have gone quite defensive. As we were talking, we thought they would probably need to do that, and it started off a really good pace actually. So both teams are just trying to get a score on the board now at the moment, and I think whoever settles first will, click on from there.
Yeah, looking off camera, Aoife way off to our left, there's like 2, 3, 4 Westmeath jerseys just getting back there to mark position. So you're right, they definitely will go defensive, but sure, isn't that what nearly everybody does these days?
Yeah, I guess that's the way the game's going, all right. I guess transitioning from defence into attack, then that's where the rewards are.
Well, this is what Cavan are doing now, because Mona Sheridan has it and she puts it in. And that is Geraldine Sheridan there, and she's bottled up a little bit. She needs to release it, and referee blows for over carrying there, and that was good from a Westmeath point of view.
Yeah, do you know what? 4 or 5 of them around her and just hands out, not fouling, so they're doing well in defence so far.
I noticed recently that Dublin have sort of changed what they do there a little bit. I think they realised when they were playing against Meath that Meath wait for you to come in and they bottle you up, and they were very quick to release the ball in the Leinster final and get it out of there before they got turned over.
That's it.
Now this is Sarah Dillon with a little bit of space here, and she's got onto that right foot and she puts it over the bar, and Westmeath are in the lead. They haven't scored much in recent games, but they have taken the lead, and that'll give them a little bit of confidence, Aoife.
Yeah, give them confidence and it'll help them settle a wee bit, and they're set up here now for the kick out, not letting Cavan out or making it very difficult for them.
Sarah Dillon is their go-to forward. I mean, that will be their main outlet, and if she does the job up there, they could do well. I mean, they scored 1-6 a few weeks ago. I think it was against Dublin, or was it Meath actually, and she scored 1-5 of it, 1 goal from a penalty and the other 5 points, and that's one of those ones where you stand your ground and you're going to get your free.
That's it, you take the hit.
Yeah, Kelly Boyce Jordan was brave there, but you reckon she knew what she was doing?
Yeah, all day.
Just thought I'd check. Now this is Vicky Carr going through the middle from St. Lomans, and she does well and leaves it off. And now Vicky is playing at midfield at the minute, so she is one of those girls who's progressing on the team and becoming one of the leaders. So a promising start for Westmeath, and Sarah Dillon now with that accurate right foot. She was the intermediate player of the year last year and has had a fine year despite Westmeath having a poor year. That's always a good sign of a player, and was excellent in the college scene as well back in March, which seems a long time ago, but a fabulous player from Milltown. And her sister Tracy is at midfield, and there's another free given to Westmeath, and they take it quickly and they've got it through to Karen Haggerty, and she is going to put it, let's wait for the signal, it's a point indeed. Thought she had a chance of a goal there actually just for a second.
Yeah, she kept her composure there. I'd say she could have put that in the back of the net, but look, another score on the board, and they'll be happy with that.
She was really, really lively to get in there. There was 3 or 4 Cavan players, and they were sleeping.
Yeah, that's it. They got caught in the hop there, so Cavan would need to kind of switch it onto this game now and get going.
You would have played against Karen Hegarty. I mean, she played in 2011 in the All-Ireland Intermediate Final that Westmeath won, so you'd have come across her down the years.
Yeah, we've played Westmeath quite a few times. You know, they're one of those teams that could always cause an upset too, even if they weren't favourites for a match. And like here today, now Cavan on paper would be favourites, but Westmeath have really got off to a better start.
It's interesting, most of that team is gone from last year, but Karen Hegarty's still there. Fair play to her, she's still there and got that point. So 2 points to nil, and those are the two main go-to players in attack for Westmeath, certainly from a scoring point of view, and they have come up trumps already so far this afternoon. And it's Cavan who are chasing Westmeath early on, even though Westmeath are playing into that breeze, and you can see even in their play there's a little bit more ambition there. That ball was played in at a diagonal angle, and here now is Hegarty again, causing quite a bit of bother, giving it back to Dillon, to Hegarty again, and she fancies it but comes inside. I think she dropped her glove there, or was it a boot? And anyway, the ball goes over the bar, and it's 3 points to Westmeath, and it's turned into a very good start for them. And you can tell, Leif, that their tails are up a little bit.
That's it, and they're well set up here for Cavan's kickouts as well. You know, they're making it very difficult for them to get any momentum going forward, and then they're well set up in defence, so it's just a matter of they can keep that up, because that's very tough on the body, having to get back behind the ball all the time and then press and fire up the pitch as well.
Yeah, well, they pressed there and they fouled, but it is Cavan who are going to come away with it with their fullback Shauna Lynch now. So questions now being asked of Cavan. They need to waken up a little bit here. You can hear even the noise on the sideline has gone up a little bit. Cavan weren't expecting to concede the first 3 scores of the game. And this is Gilson now, number 15, corner forward, but out around the middle. Fine young player as well. And at midfield, this is Danaher. You can tell, I wouldn't say it's panic, Aoife, but you can tell they're a little bit more sort of anxious than they were in the first 5 minutes or so to find themselves 3 points down. They just need a score to settle them, and that isn't going to be it. It mightn't even go out. Actually, it's well kept in. No, it's not. It's gone over now, and the ball must have gone over the line before it was touched there. But again, even with that shot, a little bit rushed.
It's rushed and a bit panicky. It's like they feel now, right, 5-10 minutes, that's gone, and they haven't settled into the game, and now they're panicking to kind of get that first score and get a point, get a goal on the board, and from there they might settle. But yeah, the last thing you want to do is panic this early on in the match and, you know, start taking pot shots and kicking from places where you shouldn't.
Yeah, so 3 points to nil. Very, very interesting here in Longford. From the 45, that is Lauren McVitie giving it short to Gilson, and I think that is. And she turns onto her right. Actually, it's Aisling Walls, and it's turned over by Westmeath, and O'Malley has it, and she's got 4 on her back, but she's been involved in quite a lot of breakout play and getting forward. She took a bang there, and there's going to be another tick, and I think it was McVitie who's going to get ticked. So Cavan a couple of ticks already as well, and they're struggling to hold this Westmeath team.
That's it, and you know, I think we talked about this before the game. If Westmeath went very defensive, that, you know, they could frustrate the Cavan team as well. So that's exactly what they've come out and done. So maybe they've changed tactics around a wee bit in order to do that.
But it's a confidence game, isn't it? You know, and they just started well, and they've just seemed to be, they have a little spring in their step, and they're getting forward. Look, the hands are up. They all want the ball. All of a sudden, Sarah Dillon now coming out, and look, they're just kicking the ball around, and maybe Cavan are dropping a little bit too deep in there, and they're just letting Westmeath have it. But they are enjoying themselves so far, and they haven't enjoyed this year so much. But look at the room here as well, and Cavan just don't seem to be awake to what's going on here. They're not following their players. They weren't awake for Karen Hegarty, and there was loads of room there for Boyce Jordan as well. Now they've got it in the end, but they've been frustrated going forward, and they have another chance now to see if they can do a little bit better. And this is Gilson into Sheridan, and she'll get it back, and Sheridan goes to ground. Referee says go on, so Gilson does go on, still on the ball, and she's going to go for a shot, but again, wrong option. That
was the wrong option again, yeah, and, you know, forced and a bit panicked. So they are struggling to find space to get into, to get a good shot off, to be honest. But there's no point giving the ball straight back to Westmeath either. That's exactly what they want.
And there's a player down at the minute from that challenge, and it is Sheridan. It was one of those collisions, and there is the manager of Roscommon there, Michael Finneran, or from Roscommon, Michael Finneran, manager of Westmeath. And I would say he is happy at the minute with the way things have been going for his team. No scores conceded after 12 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's after me saying at the start that his team in 8 games have conceded 136 points and 25 goals, and they go out and concede nothing for 12 and a half minutes.
No, well, it's the way they're set up. You know, it is. Cavan are just finding it really hard to get a good place to shoot from.
Exactly, yeah, and that's a decent kick out into the wind as well from the goalkeeper, Ciara Faulkner, who started the game despite being named in the subs, and they've won it again, and they're coming forward with a little bit of ambition, some creativity as well, good running off the ball, and they are really up for this, Westmeath, and that's good work by Kelly Boyce-Jordan, and she's still going, and she's got a shot in as well. Now it's going to go to the right and wide, but again, really nice football and lots of options when they go forward, and Cavan don't seem to be able to handle them. Now the goalkeeper, Elaine Brady, where is she going to go with this one? Ethan McDonald with me mentioned that there's a high press on, and you see that press on. There's no short ones there for Cavan, and they end up giving it straight back to Westmeath, and it's Aoife O'Malley who's been very impressive. Now Boyce-Jordan, and there's loads of room in behind. Now Dillon is there, and she puts it over the bar, and that is all too easy for Westmeath. She could even have gone for goal, but Westmeath in a very strange position for them this year. They're 4 points to 0 ahead.
Yeah, this high press is working really, really well, and you can see that Cavan are really struggling to find space to get the kick out away to.
Yeah, there's no short ones, so they go long to the right hand side. Now they're looking for, is that Sheridan over there? No, it's not Sheridan, but they get it. That's the important thing. But they've had to go long. Now this is Gilsonen. Still no score for Cavan, but they might get one now. That's beautifully taken as well. There's a chance here for Sheridan, trying to get on that right foot, and surely that's a penalty. Referee has no hesitation, and that is going to be a penalty for Cavan. A brilliant move up the pitch, and she just got, when she got the ball, you just knew that she spelt danger there. She looked lively.
Yeah, and there was so much space in front of her, so if Cavan moved the ball quick like that and a long ball in, you know, if they can hit that space, then she's going to be dangerous in there.
That's how to beat the blanket defence, if it's fair to call it a blanket defence. The defender was Laura Fitzpatrick, who I mixed up a minute ago, of course, the captain. Now Lauren McVitie, she took a penalty against Donegal. She went low to the keeper's right hand side. Where is she going to go this time? She is an expert penalty taker, not trying to put too much pressure on her, but it's an important kick, and the keeper saves it. I did put too much pressure on her, and the goalkeeper read it pretty well. It was pretty much central, but she still did well, and that is Ciara Faulkner. She wasn't even named to start today, but she has come in and made a crucial penalty save for Westmeath, and Cavan have still not scored, and we're more than a quarter into the game. Now, still a chance for Cavan to get their first score, but again, it's sliced and it's well off target. What do you think of that penalty?
Yeah, do you know what? Another day that penalty would have gone low into the corner, but do you know, it was quite direct at the goalkeeper, and I think that's just Cavan are a bit shook at the moment. Yeah.
I thought the keeper was a little bit to her right from centre. I thought was she playing a little mind games there, and then at the last minute she went left, but the keeper saved it in the end, and it wasn't a great penalty. As you say, it would have been low usually. As I said, her previous one against Donegal was low, but maybe she just had a bit of a confidence issue there. Maybe there was just too much pressure.
Yeah, do you know, you can see that, and with no score on the board, it's a big first score to try to get. But
keeper does well again, coming out, and there's O'Malley again. Yeah, it is important, yeah, and they have another penalty taker. I mean, Nessa Bird takes penalties as well. It'll be interesting to see if they get another one, but yeah, big save and an important point in this game. What did you say before the game? These games can be just exciting as senior championship. Normal games, relegation playoffs, they can have that sort of excitement and edge about them.
That's it, and you can see like the fire that's in Westmeath here today, and
absolutely. Now Gilsonen on her right foot, can she get a score? They've missed it again, and a lot of these are bad whites too. Nowhere near.
It's not like Cavan, to be honest. They've got some great forwards, and to be honest, they just look panicky. Do you know, they haven't settled into the game. I think if they got one score, it would actually settle them down. But at the moment, they're taking pot shots from places where they shouldn't be.
17 minutes gone. Westmeath 4 points. Cavan no score. They had a golden opportunity from a penalty, didn't take it.
And the longer that goes on, that you don't have a score, the more that gets into players' heads, and it does affect confidence. And on the reverse of that, for the Westmeath girls, they're going to be looking at how they're defending, and they're going to take great confidence from that, never mind the scores that they're getting up front.
Absolutely, and they've such a wretched year. I mean, they were relegated from Division 1 of the league as well, so they've already lost a relegation playoff, but they've come into this, and maybe the message was, look, you've nothing to lose. It's been a terrible year, just get out there and go for it, you know. But as you say, it's a bit more than that. It's a setup as well that's working, and it's working again there. Their defence back there intercepting just about everything that Cavan threw at them, and it was only that one chance from the penalty, really, where they had one goal threat. But apart from that, they haven't really threatened an awful lot. And this is Vicky Carr again, and she plays it low down into the corner, trying to find Blundell, and that's good defending actually by Erin Longuer, number 4, and they eventually get the ball through to McIntyre and then to Shauna Lynch. A lot of Cavan players back there. The work rate impressive for them, but they need to get forward now. This is Keenahan giving it to Danaher, and she's fouled. And you can see there that the sideline are all shouting, move it quick. Sinead Green now. And this is the captain, Fitzpatrick. Definitely anxiety in the Breffni air. They need to get something here. They did not expect to be 4 points down. This is Sheridan. She's been lively. She won the penalty, and now she's won a free as well. Now here's an opportunity, but again, it's one of those ones, Aoife, that on a normal day when you're 6 points up, this is pretty straightforward. But now with a little bit of a breeze as well, and it's a bit far out, it's about how you keep your composure and your technique and don't snatch at it.
That's it, and the fact that they really need a score here, you know, that's the extra pressure. So we'll see how she does from here. But it's a kickable score, so.
Yeah, but with that breeze, you sort of aim at the post on the right-hand side, but she goes quite a bit left, and she's put it too far left.
That's it, and you know, that was a kickable score, and the fact that it got the distance and everything without too much effort, you know, I do think the pressure now is starting to get to them.
Absolutely. Maybe the talk beforehand and the media and whatever, when you look at the records, maybe they thought, well, sure, we'll beat Westmeath, they're going really poorly, you know, and maybe that's got into their heads, and now they've gone behind, it's like, what do we do about it? This is Aisling Walls, and as she's got support there, our captain Fitzpatrick is coming up, but Gilson is going to have another go, and you could see in her face there, she knew, oh, I've done it again.
Yeah, Cavan are getting really frustrated themselves too, and, you know, I don't blame them because they're all kickable scores, so.
There was an option there. I mean, our captain, as I say, had come up alongside her there and was an option inside, but they're just taking the wrong options.
Yeah, and they haven't kicked into gear at all yet, to be honest. Westmeath seem to just be, you know, have that fire in the belly more so.
Now, Cavan have yet another attack, and it's Gilson, and she's seen a lot of ball. Will she try again? She's missed quite a few, but she takes responsibility. Oh my goodness, you feel for her at this point because she's put quite a few wide, but she's taken the responsibility every time, but it's just not happening. And maybe that breeze going diagonally across is just really hard to judge, but they're not even going close.
No, and the thing is that they're going to the left and the right. It's not that the breeze is taking them in one direction. It's, you know,
maybe they're thinking they have to compensate, but they're compensating too much, and they're just not composed. No. And I see the Cavan backroom team down to my right, and they're having shall we say, a few conversations, but there's nothing much they can do about this. There's yet another one wide.
And, you know, that's the thing, Jerome, that you picked out as well. It might have been the talk before the game, because on paper Cavan should be well ahead maybe, and Westmeath haven't conceded big scores in their other matches. And, you know, that complacency can set in, and, you know, it can actually lose you games. And if Cavan don't watch out, that's maybe what's going to happen eventually if they don't kick into gear soon.
Look how confident that pass was, like a 20-yard pass right into the arms. I mean, the Westmeath girls are playing like they obviously haven't been playing all year.
Yeah, and a great game to do it, you know, when everything's on the line. So, you know, credit to Westmeath, they're actually playing great as well. It's not that Cavan aren't. you know, stepping up. It's the fact that Westmeath defensively and going forward are actually doing brilliant.
And Mona Sheridan getting another whack there from a challenge where she left the ball off, so she's in the wars today. The only thing for Cavan is they are getting a lot of chances. They are getting in for kicks at goal, so Westmeath are allowing them that. So if they start getting them on target, you never know, it might flow a little bit. And that's Gilsonen doing well there to win it, and she's brave enough to take it.
That's it, and you know, that has to be respected too. It's like, right, it's not going well, but we're going to keep going here and we're going to keep taking our opportunities and hopefully start putting some points on the board.
The last one was very straight. This a little bit to the left. So does she go for the far post this time? She's going, I don't know what way I put it. Every time it just doesn't go on. But this should be over, and it is over at last. 22 minutes and 35 seconds. Aisling Gilsonen has got Cavan's first score of the day, and boy, do they need that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now if that actually settles them down and they kick on from here.
And it'll do her good as well, because she won it and she put it over after missing quite a few, so full credit to her. Westmeath, though, will not be deterred. They had the ball again, and that's Carr doing good work, just getting possession. That's what you need to do after the opposition is get a score. Don't let them get another one. Get a bit of possession, get your game going again, and spreading the play well there. That was Chloe Kelly, and she's looking for it again, but that's gone a little bit too far on. But the referee has spotted something here, and Gus Chapman has obviously indicated to say that there was a hold there on Ciara Blundell. She looked like maybe taking it quickly, but thought better of it. And Gus is bringing that right into the 14. And Westmeath, after conceding a goal, will be saying thank you very much. But good refereeing.
Yeah, it was a great spot, to be honest, because it was so far away from the play, and now it's right on the edge of the box. So you would think this should be going over.
Sarah Dillon does the rest, and it's 5 points to 1. And actually Westmeath hadn't scored for quite a while, so that's a good score for them to get back as well. But a really good response after Cavan scored. But let's look at the press here again, Aoife. Let's see, look at the Westmeath players. There's 3 Westmeath players are the closest players to the Cavan goalkeeper, so she's no option but to go long, and she has to go long right now. They have got it, and Sinead Green is there. They've got it on the break, but really hard to get possession from her kickouts. Now Green tearing up that right wing, goes to ground but keeps going, and the referee is pointing. I think he said there was maybe 3 fouls there. He gave the last one. So
yeah, he had his hand up for advantage there from about midfield. So,
well, that's determined play when it takes 3 fouls to bring her down. But that's what we expect from the teacher from Templeport, former captain, of course, for Cavan, Sinead Green. She won't be taking this one lying down at all. She will drive the team forward. Cavan moving the ball a little bit better, but Westmeath just sitting in there and waiting for them and keeping them at distance. Shot comes in, and do you know what? I just knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, there was no way that she had an angle on that, wind or not. You know, it was just the wrong option.
But Westmeath's structure in there, very impressive, isn't it? You know, they're quite close and quite compact.
Yeah, you would think now.
Like the 2 lines of defence very close to each other there, trying to keep them out.
That's it. And
oh, hold on. There's an interception here. And it's an opportunity for Cavan, and they do get a free out of it there. Anya Riley was looking like she might shoot but get the free out of it in the end, so they've turned that over there, and they're going to get a chance at a score here, and it's actually going to be Lauren McVitie who missed that last one from play, but the right side for a left-footed player. Sorry, if you were going to say.
No, just with the Westmeath fence there, you know, they are very well set up and they do have a couple of lines, and it is hard to get through that. But Cavan need to maybe just take the ball on a bit more and take them on.
That's our backroom team there watching and hoping that this one goes over. It's a tricky one, but she's managed it very well, and they appreciated that one. That's 2 points on the board for Cavan, both from frees. Have not scored yet from play, but looking a lot better for them. 5 points to 2 now after 26 minutes of the game. And the kick out, I've been impressed by her kick outs. Maybe that's one of the reasons she has come in, apart from the penalty save, Ciara Faulkner. And that's a good kick out, and it's got them all the way up to halfway. And this is Vicky Carr, who's also been very impressive. And this is Karen Hegarty, and lovely ball into Blundell. Now she's clearly fouled there. Referee gives advantage, and there's an appeal there by Kate McIntyre, but I think everyone on the ground would have disagreed with her there. That was a clear foul, but really good, confident play again by Westmeath, all the way from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and this is going to be a tough kick now, because you can see the flags there, the wind's coming across, so
She's taking it on though. Sarah Dillon goes for technique more than power, and it is dangerous, but square ball in there, and it's going to be a free out. Might have been better working that one in. Strong wind, we can feel it here. It's coming right over towards us and would have been right into the face of Sarah Dillon as well.
And some of the Cavan substitutes warming up there. Don't know if they're going to come on or not, but they're taking the bibs off, so Cavan might be looking at making a few substitutes.
Would they do that 3 minutes before half time? I suppose you can make it any time, but
maybe now over half time they'll get those players well warmed up. We'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're thinking. Yeah, this is McVeety. This is number 12, Aisling Walls, into Keenahan now. This is Green. McVeety again, and yeah, we were talking about that structure there, but look, they've got in behind. There is a chance here, and it's Nessa Burda's got in behind, and that is another wide. I thought it was going to be their first score from play, but they just got through the defensive structure there and snatched again at it a little bit maybe, and again it's no score for Cavan. Now this kick out has gone straight to them, but the goalkeeper is going to get another chance, but Cavan haven't scored from play.
No, and you know, she had time there, and if she'd taken half a second even just to compose herself, that would have been over the bar, or even, to be honest, that could have been a run of goals. And Westmeath just have to be careful of that too, because when you are set up like that, you don't have responsibility for any one single player. The ball can go in behind and there can be goals on.
Now the cornerback's all the way up there. That's Longer and plays it into Sheridan. Nearly broke for Gilson, and in the end though they've just given it away, and Westmeath have got it. Now they've given it away, so Cavan have a chance to come again. You see a nice shot there on our low camera of Nessa Birds, but she's been held up by Chloe Kelly. Captain driving Cavan forward, and that's a bit of a snatch again, and that was dropping into the arms of the keeper out around the edge of the square, so it was nowhere near the goals really, and another poor option from Cavan, it has to be said. 29 minutes gone, 5 points to 2, and in the second half Westmeath will have whatever wind advantage there is.
Yeah, if the wind keeps up like that, Westmeath will have that advantage, and
that's how you use it. Danaher has got that out and given it to Keenahan. Can Cavan finish the half on a high? Not a single score from play, and we're now on the 30th minute. They'll take a score whatever way they can get it. They've had 2 from frees. They've had lots of opportunities, lots of wides, and they've had a penalty saved, but Gilson is driving through on her own, and she gets a free. It's going to come back. Good determined play by her, but tenacious defending again, wasn't it?
yeah, and Cavan are going to have to run at Westmeath like that, the way that they're set up. If nothing else, they're going to get frees from it, but you know, they will get scores if they can go at the players like that. At the moment they're kind of going over and back, and Westmeath are set up so well, you know, they're not going to, those opportunities aren't just going to happen. So if you have a couple of players running, you know, it's going to mean that Westmeath have to commit more players to that player coming through, and that should free up other Cavan players. So, and if nothing else, if they can make better of the frees, if they'd scored even half the frees that they've gotten, you know, they'd be ahead.
Most of the game has been played on that side, possibly because of the wind as well, but also the way the teams are set up. But you would imagine the second half, Cavan will find it a lot trickier, so the whole landscape might change. We'll see Gilson now right in front of the goals, should score, and I'm hesitating just in case, but yeah, it's a point, yeah. So 3 points for Cavan. Now, Faulkner, the penalty saving hero. Good high kick every time from her. She really pumps that ball despite the wind, but Cavan have turned over quite a few of the kickouts in the last 5 or 6 minutes. They've got that part of their game right, and it's Green, and she's coming through, and she's going to lead that off as a goal chance here for Sheridan. Brilliant defending again. She has 2 goes at it, but Westmeath will not be breached in this first half. Brilliant defending. Now the referee is going to hold it up, but excellent defending once again. Tenacious and very determined play by Sinead Green to get through him. When Sheridan got it, you thought there might be a goal there, but she has ended up injured because of the defending. Brilliant defending by Westmeath to keep her out, and there was a goalkeeper and at least 4 or 5 other players there.
Yeah, and I mean, when Cavan went through there, Sinead Green has great pace, and you can see when you run at them, when you run at Westmeath, opportunities will come up, but at the same time Westmeath are just getting so many bodies behind the ball, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that up now in the second half, because that does wear you down. the longer the game goes on.
But do you take my point? The second half, it might all change a little bit, because Cavan might find themselves just naturally just dropping in because of the wind being strong, and Westmeath might have to then come out a little bit.
That's it. That's what I mean. It'll be interesting to see if that does happen now in the second half.
32 minutes gone. Not long left. And that's a free for Westmeath. And the subs and the crowd around us on the far side, very invested in this game. It's very heated. They're all very vocal. And why not? It's a relegation playoff. Senior championship status is on the line. Vicky Carr does well. They get it to Sarah Dillon. And the go-to players for Westmeath, to be fair, in the first half have really stepped up. One of them is Sarah Dillon. Another is Karen Hegarty. She was involved there as well. They're not playing like a team who's lost 8 games out of 8 this year.
No, you would never think that now, to be fair.
I mean, you think of the players they lost from last year. Claffey, Maher, Archibald, McCartan, the list goes on, you know. So they have had to recover from that, and they've done that today. Westmeath leading 5 points to 3 at half-time. They will be extremely satisfied with that first half performance. We didn't see it coming. We were expecting Cavan, especially with a bit of a wind advantage, with their Sarah Dillon going off. She will be pleased with that first half, and she's been the scorer in chief, but that hasn't been the whole story. It's been a real team effort, Aoife.
It has been, and right from their defence, to be honest, I think their defence has been really, really impressive. And then their forward play as well, like transitioning up the pitch. Some of the passes have been brilliant, and you know they've led to scores from that.
See the referee down there just in front of our camera to the right of him, actually, and he's been quizzed there. He's answering a few questions as well. I'm not quite sure what that is about. We'll maybe check everything with him, the score, everything, just to make it sure it's absolutely sure. But we have a scoreboard here, and it's 5 points to 3. But the key incident to me in the first half, if there was one incident, I know it was all about the pattern of play, but was the penalty. You know, you could say if they'd scored that, Cavan would be a point ahead at this stage, and it was a golden opportunity, but she just didn't strike it well or whatever. I was over at those goals actually before the game, and the actual goal mouth is very bumpy where the goalkeeper should be, and I remember thinking, there it is again, I remember thinking this could be tricky for a goalkeeper, but maybe it was tricky for the player as well, because the penalty spot where she took it from wasn't in the middle either, and the goalkeeper was slightly to the right. It sounds like I'm making excuses, really. You have to score those. You
do, and you know when you're a penalty taker and you're forward, you're expected to score them because you do have the advantage. And at the end of the day, you're not even really looking at where you're putting it. When you look down at the ball, you're already in your mind, you know where the ball's going. So I think because they weren't settled and they just didn't have that composure, no score on the board, and there was a lot of pressure behind it, I think that just went out the window, and it was just literally straight down the goals to the keeper. And to be fair, that goalkeeper is doing brilliant actually, you know, to come in today as a sub-keeper. Her kickouts, you know, Westmeath, they're getting most of the kickouts on this end, and to save a penalty, you know, that's that's no mean feat, you know, and to, you know, on your day coming in on a relegation match like that.
Absolutely. Does your confidence a lot of good. It's been the story of the first half. Westmeath 5 points and Cavan only 3 points. And were they all from frees? They were, yeah. Oh, they haven't scored from play, Cavan, in the first half. So fair play to the Westmeath defence and to their goalkeeper. 5 points to 3. We will be back for the second half in about 5 or 6 minutes' time. Welcome back to Pearse Park in Longford with myself and Aoife McDonald, and the Cavan team are out there, the referees out there. We're just missing the Westmeath team. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Cavan are just eager to get out now and get started, and hopefully have a better start to the second half than they did to the first half. But Westmeath have stayed in and maybe making them wait, and here they come now.
Sarah Dillon first out. She had an excellent first half, and the whole team had an excellent first half, so it will be interesting to see what way it goes in the second half. And the wind going into our faces, it's sort of coming, if you imagine, from right to left as you watch it in a diagonal way from the top right of the screen down to the left. And we think that might actually change the way the game goes in the second half. But first half, definitely, it was all well, it was Cavan attacking a lot of the time, but it was Westmeath's plan seemed to have worked really, really well. So let's see what happens in the second half, and we'll keep an eye to see if there's any changes as well. But the hero, if there was one in the first half, of course, was the sub goalkeeper, the number 16, who came in at the last minute. That's Ciara Faulkner for Westmeath. Saved the penalty, and that's why her team are 2 points to the good, or at least one of the reasons. And that is Tracy Dillon saying, surely that was my free, but it's not. It's a Cavan free. So uphill a little bit for Cavan, into the wind, and they're 2 points down. So what can they do in the second half, and what sort of second half will we have? Will Westmeath's structure prevail in this half? Cavan with the ball in the first 30 seconds through Aisling Walls. She just takes her time, which they didn't do too much of in the first half. But now the run from Mona Sheridan. Tackle comes in. They do keep possession, Cavan, though, and this is the number 10, Keenahan, involved as well. And there's a high challenge goes in, and she protests her innocence. But the referee gave that as soon as he saw it. So a chance here for Cavan, but it's not easy taking the frees. I mean, the first half they had a lot of wides, Cavan, and they didn't really have too many excuses. They have an excuse this time, Aoife.
That's it. So this is kind of the wind's coming across in toss, but
that's ambitious from there, I have to say. If she's going to go for it from there, you know. Quite a distance out, and she has to judge it too. Now the wind's dropped a little bit, and she pinches a yard or two. That's going to drop short, but the keeper watches it. Oh my goodness, that could have been a goal there if it had bounced the right way, because the keeper, after us praising her for her first half performance, misjudged that slightly, and maybe that was it, just been caught in the wind, Aoife.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, I was surprised more the Westmeath players didn't get back in around that square, because there was a good chance that it was going to drop short.
Over carrying, it's a free in for Cavan. Brighter start for Cavan, but they just need to be a little bit smarter. It's another free for Gilsonan, and it's actually closer than I thought it was, and it's closer than the last one was. Now, judging by the last free, what do you think?
I think this time she will have a better chance of putting this over, and it is a wee bit closer. I think maybe something was said down there, because the travelling was closer out to the 45, and and that's a lot closer to the goals where she's taking it from, so maybe somebody.
And I'd say the defenders are getting a little bit closer, but they don't need to this time, because it's a point. First blood of the second half to Cavan, and this is getting really interesting. Let's have a look at the press now. Ciara Faulkner's kickouts in the first half, really good. Now that's a little bit rushed, and it has been taken by Cavan. So they come looking for an equaliser. Tackle goes in, and the referee said that was a foul, and he gave a little bit of advantage, and it was a tackle came in, I think, from Fiona Coyle, and he gave it and then brought it back. So it's another chance, and this one just outside the D, and Gilsonan's having 3 frees in about 2 minutes at the start of the second half. And I noticed the Cavan manager Jerry Moan has come up behind our camera there at the sideline as well, and he wants to see much better. They've given it short to McVitie, and she's fending off a few challenges, and Cavan trying to get that equaliser. Sheridan just passes the parcel, and this is Keenahan now. This is Sinead Green breaking through a few tackles, and she gets tackled at the end there. Now she was fouled illegally, even though the block came in after that. The referee will bring it back. What's the pattern here, Aoife? Free, 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 free. 4 frees.
Yeah, you know, Westmeath, maybe they're not just on top of the defending as they were. They're giving away a lot of the frees, and
but outside
Cavan are
the
really
zone,
going at it. Yeah.
Apart from that one. So they have to go short, and McVitie gives it into Gilson and goes for the fisted effort, goes wide again, and again it's going to be brought back for another free. 5 frees, and we're only going 3.5 minutes for Cavan. I think the pattern is established for the second half.
Yeah, and you know, Cavan have come out, and you can see that they've raised the game. They've brought it to another level, and they know that they have to go at them in this half. They can't take the pace that they did the last half, and yeah.
It's going to be interesting if they get an equaliser here, or they sneak ahead, and then Westmeath will have to come out a little bit, but that's all conjecture. She comes inside, as any good free taker does, and pops it over with the left foot, and it's level. All square here in Longford in this TG4 All-Ireland Senior Championship relegation playoff. The goalkeeper Faulkner is out and keen to take it quickly, and hits a really good kick out, but it's not going to be allowed. The referee is going to bring it back because there's a ball on the pitch, another ball on the pitch rather. You're allowed a ball on the pitch. So in fact there's 3 balls on the pitch. He gets rid of 2 of them, and it was a nice angle to kick out. And possession, as you were saying earlier, so important from these kickouts. But now Cavan should be able to press this. They have gone player to player. And we're going to have a substitution, actually, and it's number 18 coming on for Westmeath. So the first change of the game is being made by them, and number 4 is going off. That's Aoife O'Malley. And she had a good first half, but she has been replaced, and number 18 is Buckley, who is coming in for Westmeath. That's Susanna Buckley from Mullingar Shamrocks. First change after 5 minutes. Maybe, Aoife, they were a little bit concerned about the way the first 5 minutes had gone and conceding 5 frees.
Yeah, and you can see now Cavan are picking up man-to-man the kickouts too, so that's going to make it more difficult for Westmeath.
Oh, that's brilliant work by Kelly Boyce Jordan, getting it into Faulkner and coming back now to Dillon, and she's got support here as well from Haggerty. This is brilliant from Westmeath. If we get this over the bar, that is fantastic play. Never mind confidence. Doesn't matter you've lost 8 games in a row. That was a team playing sparkling football, and they're back in front.
And that's just quick football. That's like give the ball in fast, off the shoulder, over the bar. It's as simple as it gets, and it's effective.
Yeah, they have good forwards, and when they get going, so they have not put their heads down. They have come back with a really good response. This game is getting very, very interesting.
Substitution on the Cavan side, number 20, Cara.
And that is the sub who's just come in. The announcement is being made. She's already on the ball.
It was a great turnover.
Looked to be in a good position as well. That was Cora McCaffrey, actually, who came in. Cara McCaffrey, rather, from the same club as Sinead Green, but then Gilsonan is down injured. She's going to be okay to continue, and it's a free for Westmeath. So both teams starting to make changes, and it's the substitute who just came in there for Westmeath coming back to take responsibility for the kick as well. Gives it short to Carr. Turns really nicely, and support off the shoulder as well, and more support inside, and that's really hard to play against. This is brilliant play. Cavan cannot do anything about that kind of play, and then they get it up to Sarah Dillon. She is their go-to player. Now, she's been closely watched by Lynch. She has been held up, and she'll get a free if she needs it. But Carr has the ball now, and the referee is going to let it go on, and advantage has gone, and that's well taken by Sinead Green in there, and that's good leadership from her in there to clutch that one out of the sky. And now it's their chance to break, because Westmeath committed a lot of players to the attack, and look at this, there's 4 or 5 Breffni blue jerseys on the attack. They have not been in the lead in this game at all. They want an equaliser. That's brilliant work by Keenahan. There might be a goal chance here, but the goalkeeper comes out and has redeemed herself of that little incident 4 or 5 minutes ago where she spilled it with another excellent interception. And that's a free in for Cavan. It's got really, really interesting. It's really hard to call this one now.
Yeah, and you can see where the fitness levels are going to come in there now, because Westmeath did get caught. They were on the attack, and some of the players were struggling there to get back, and Cavan just they went at them, and there was a really good goal opportunity there, and again, goalkeeper did really well.
Were you a little bit surprised they went for goal? I mean, they need a point to equalise. It's a bit early to have to go for goals.
Forwards always have goals in the mind, so I think that's the go-to when it's on. That's the tendency, is to go for the goal, and they still have plenty of time. So the fact that there's only a point in it, and that they're doing a lot better now, Cavan will be thinking they're going to tag on more scores here anyway, more points.
That was a brilliant move at one end and a brilliant move at the other end, and this is the stage of the game where I find myself saying the game is opening up. As you say, the fitness is an issue, but now all the Westmeath players are back in position, and they've a couple of players just marking space in there as well, so it's difficult for Cavan to get through, but they'll have a go. This is Mona Sheridan getting possession. That's Fitzpatrick, the captain, now into the substitute McCaffrey, I think that is, and she gets her kick in, but it goes to, well, I thought it was going to the left. It was the goalkeeper signal, and you should never go with the goalkeeper signal. Always go with the umpire's signal. That was really well taken. That's what you call an impact substitute, and that's a good kick out as well. Nice and quick. She gets possession, and the keeper is looking for it back, but she doesn't get it back. Instead, it is going to be Westmeath's substitute with it. So the subs on both sides doing really well. It's 6 points each. And again, lovely play, and they're looking for Dillon as they do most of the times, but that time it was well defended. Credit to Shauna Lynch, the number 3 for Cavan, and now it's they who are going to break. This is a really entertaining game now. There's a lot on the line, and there's a lot of great football out there as well.
And oftentimes the defenders don't get the credit there. Like, that could be a score on one end and the defenders come out, done a great job, and next thing they're on the attack again. So the credit always doesn't, the glory doesn't always go to the defenders like that, but that can be the difference in a game.
And obviously there's pressure on her because she knows the ball's coming into Sarah Dillon. She's really good at winning the ball, but she just got in front of there, and there is a hot ball between the 2 number 8s, and it is grabbed by Lucy Power for Westmeath, the number 15. I haven't mentioned her too much, but she's doing a lot of good work in there, and that was an important possession. Now she's running off the shoulder as well, and she's looking to get it from Fiona Coyle. That's brilliant play by Power. She is really powering forward, Lucy Downs, and she's still on the ball, but finally it's over carrying, and there's a lot of exasperation out there, and it's getting really dramatic and tense now, but everybody giving it absolutely everything. Senior status is the prize for the winners of this game.
Exactly, and this is where this type of game gets exciting now. It's opening up, as you said, and it's just end-to-end football, so there's definitely going to be more scores, and you could probably see a few goals before this game's out.
I know, it's like a cup final. It's got that sort of edge to it, you know. It's a real knockout stuff. Last game of the year, last 20 minutes that these girls are going to play in their county jerseys this year, and they want to set up next year, so it's all to play for. 6 points each. Cavan have been behind all of the game, or level. 2 points down at half time, but now they're level. Westmeath have only really had about 1 attack in the second half, and they got a point from it, and they move well when they do get forward, and Dillon started that move, and she's trying to finish it as well, and that's dangerous. Oh, and it's dropped into the net. Oh my goodness, a goal for Westmeath and a disaster for Cavan, and it's Sarah Dillon. Oh, she was the All-Ireland Player of the Year last year, and she has stepped up, and even though her team has lost 8 games in a row this year, she might have just got a crucial goal for them. Wow.
Yeah.
What a twist. You did say there'd be more goals.
Yeah, just said it. Yeah, Sarah was going for a point there, but just dipped in under.
She wasn't.
Dipped in under the crossbar, but Cavan are on the goal here again. So.
Yes, number 13 is Cahill, who's come into the play. She was named to start but didn't, but now she's in there, and there's a chance here for Sinead Green. Fists it over the bar, and I raised my voice there because I thought she was going to lash that into the net, but she took the option off a point and brings it back to 1-6-7.
Yeah, it was the right option. She was coming in at a tight angle there, so she's better off just getting that point back, and you know there's only 2 points in it now again.
Now that's an ambitious kick out, but it's too ambitious. I know what she was trying to do. Really interesting game. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say Cavan have really... Oh, sorry, they're on the goal here again at the goals. So.
They are indeed. Oh, that's brilliant. And it's Sheridan with a shot, and the goalkeeper makes another save. Well, she saved the penalty, and now she saved a point-blank shot as well. And she is having a super day. And she only came in at the last minute. She is wearing number 16, but she has been vital today so far for Westmeath.
Yeah, she's been brilliant, and you know I was just going to say Cavan have really pushed up on Westmeath and making it really tough for them to come out actually, and Westmeath are struggling a wee bit with the kickouts.
Well done by Tracy Dillon in the middle of the field there. Good strong play from her, and now by Chloe Kelly. And they persevere. This is really super game. Really enjoying this game now.
There's a lot of space in behind there if there was a Westmeath player too.
No, Cavan have dropped right back in
Yeah,
there.
they're
Sarah
back in
Dillon's
there.
over in the left corner, so they're going to hold it up instead. And to think that coming into this game, I was thinking Cavan could just blow Westmeath away here, but Westmeath have really stepped up to the plate, and players like their captain, Blundell, their number 13, and Dillon. And the free has gone the other way. It's a free to Cavan. It's 1-6-7, 2 point lead for Westmeath. 43, nearly 44 minutes gone. Let's have a look at this again. Brilliant play. I loved the little turn there. She lost her marker, but straight at the keeper, who did really well and kept it out. Free again for Cavan.
And Cavan are getting those opportunities in front of the goals, you know, a little bit more composure, because when you do see that, it was hit at the goalkeeper. She did great, but it was still hit at her. So, you know, if that was low and hard into the corner, that would have been a different story maybe.
Well, maybe you were right there when you were saying Sinead Green shouldn't have taken the shot, because it probably would have went straight at the keeper as well. But they got a point out of that one at least. They didn't get a point out of the other opportunity.
Exactly.
1-6 plays 7. I'm just thinking, you know, Cavan, if they lose this, after losing last week with a penalty right at the end against Tipperary, it's a horrible way to go down.
And not only that, with the amount of chances that they had today, they, you know, they will be really annoyed at themselves if they do lose this game today.
Long way to go though. We're exactly at the 3/4 mark. A long way to go, but there's a free for Westmeath now, and it is going to come down to fitness now, isn't it, and composure as well. When Westmeath get the ball up there, they move really well, but it's just beautifully balanced.
It is. An interesting last 15 minutes.
It really is. This is Tracy Dillon, sister of Sarah, taking the free. And that's ambitious, but well intercepted by Gilson and all the way back there. Now she tries to come forward. She's faced up by Dillon, but gets it through to Green. And Green's speed has been a factor in this game in the last 5 or 6 minutes. She got through and almost got a goal chance, but she's helped create another chance here, and it's a chance for a point or a goal, as she was going for either, but it hit the post and came out, and that's another miss. It will go down as, but will it go over in the end? It does, and it's from McVitie, and Cavan needed that. They closed the gap to just 1 point, and they kind of hit them on the break there, and that really is their best chance. But let's look at the press now on the Westmeath kick out. Cavan trying to do the press this time. She's had a good kick out most of the game, going high right or left. Oh, she goes low this time, and that's good movement actually by Fiona Coyle to get that, and it's so vital to get possession, as you were saying, Aoife, from these sort of kick outs.
Yeah, every single possession now is vital.
Oh, hold on, they've given it away. Oh, she got out of jail there, sorry.
Yeah, no, big time. That could have been easily a goal on there as well for Cavan.
But that was good movement by Coyle there to get loose and get the ball. Oh, you just can't take your eyes. This is the minute one. You follow one team and then the other team gets it and turns it over. There's a nice ball over the top, and it is Vicky Carr who has been most impressive in this game. Good movement off the ball by Dillon, and she now gets the ball. Her marker lost her there for a minute. She was in behind, and that's a nice turn as well. Westmeath looking for a score. They get it back to Dillon, and she says thank you very much. Sarah Dillon on target again. Another score for Westmeath, 178. They take a 2-point lead, and that was all for me about Sarah Dillon.
Yeah, no, great vision to, you know, make the run to get the ball in the first place and then just finish it off lovely.
Kick out goes to the number 9, that is Danaher. Cavan now trying to get going. I'd say in the back of their minds they expected to win this fairly comfortably, but now they just cannot get a hang of this Westmeath team. But there's a chance now, and Sheridan is through. There's a goal chance on Shirley. She'll put it to the net. Maybe a steps issue, but the referee is looking and he is giving it, and it is a goal for Cavan on the break out of absolutely nothing, and it's Geraldine Sheridan who has rescued the day possibly for Cavan.
Yeah, she finished it off well, and yeah, I think steps-wise, I think she might have been okay, but yeah, that's a big lift now for Cavan going into the last 10 minutes.
1-8 plays 1-7, 1 point lead for Cavan now. They're in the lead for the first time in the game, just when Westmeath were getting going, and it was Dillon who got their point, just 60 seconds ago, and she is fouled, and the referee will definitely have a word this time.
Very cynical foul in there, because if she got away, she would be going straight for goals to try to get that goal back, and yeah, just grabbed by the arm there and pulled her back.
And that's just a tick. Well, I'm not sure if he did even tick her, but he certainly had a word with her. But is there a case for that sort of incident then being a yellow?
Yeah, I think so, because you can see Sarah Dillon going mad there with the referee, and rightly so, because she was away, and it's just very cynical fouling, and you know, could have been a goal, but if I was a defender, I'd be doing the exact same thing, to be honest.
And Dillon does get her shot in the end, and that's why she tried to stop her, because she can do that. She's levelled it. Brilliant play by Dillon. She is really stepping up to the mark today for Westmeath, and they have hit back and recovered well from the goal.
Yeah, you need a score like that to settle you down after a big defensive error like that.
Blundell now and Westmeath looking to get back into the lead. This is fantastic from them. They move it around so well. They're playing confidently. And just gone to the left from Dillon. She misses one. And it remains 1-8 to 1-8. Coming up to the last 10 minutes of the game. This is going right down to the wire. Right from the kick out. She went high the last time. There's no option. Short, good pressing again. But she finds a way to give it low and keep possession, or give it to her captain. And her captain was hoping to get a free there. Didn't get it. The referee, Chapman, says play on. And this is Sheridan now. But look at the pressure on her. And she needs help. She needs to find a way out of there. She's got a way out. She's got a free. And she's got a teammate as well. And it's Cavan on the attack this time. What a game. This is really exciting stuff. Lovely ball into Sheridan, and she gets on it again. She scored one goal. She was fouled for the penalty. She's helped to lay this off, and it is put over the bar by Niamh Keenahan, and it's 1-9 to 1-8. In the last 10 minutes, Cavan have sneaked ahead at a crucial time.
And it's just very open, honest football. Everybody's emptying the tank. Big press on the kickouts, and then they're getting right back in trying to defend. But in the last 10 minutes of a game like this, that's where you're going to get goals and you're going to get points, because players are going to be tired. You know, they're emptied. You can see girls now, you know, trying to get their breath, trying to get that extra bit of energy to get a burst going forward or going back into defence.
I don't know where this Westmeath team has been all year. I mean, I saw them once or twice and they weren't great. And against Galway, they scored 0-4. Against Dublin, they scored 0-4. Hadn't scored a goal since February. From play, and then he get a goal today, and they were leading for most of the game, and they've been playing extremely well. But is it too little, too late? Cavan ahead, 51 minutes gone, 1-9 to 1-8, and that's a free for Cavan now.
There was another charging incident there, so she just stood her ground and took the hit, and sometimes you just have to take that for the team.
Well, I noticed about 2 minutes ago there was an incident where she left the ball off and ran into a player and went down as if to say, well, that's my free, you know. So players are so aware of that now, and they're trying to play it, aren't they?
That's it, yeah.
But it's a Westmeath free now. This is Fiona Coyle, and she gets it out to Kelly, who manages to keep it in, and there's a real urgency about the play. Everybody wants the ball. 8 minutes to go to see who is relegated from the senior championship and who stays in senior. Blundell leaves it off to Coyle, and there's another strong challenge going in. The referee says that's perfectly legal and gives it to Gilson, and Cavan now can hit Westmeath on the break. Lovely ball by McVitie into Sheridan. That is the out ball, or rather the ball, the go-to ball when they go into the forwards, but didn't work that time.
And Cavan are going to get scores from that, you know, looking up, giving the ball in early, and, you know, those Cavan forwards are well able to take a score, and they're turning the Westmeath defence when it's one-on-one.
Another free for Cavan. They're starting to get a lot of those decisions now. Yeah. Westmeath not happy about it, but it's a Cavan ball. Number 20, the substitute who came in. She's been very impressive, and she certainly has added some urgency and dynamism to the play. And talking about being dynamic, this is Geraldine Sheridan. That's a good effort as well, and she's put it over the bar. She got the goal. Now she has a point as well. McCaffrey made it, Sheridan finished it, and Cavan now have a little bit of daylight for the first time in the game, 2 points ahead.
Cavan are getting into their stride here now, and you know, they've had so many more chances than Westmeath. They just didn't take them, so it's hard to see where Westmeath might get scores from here.
Especially when kickouts go straight to Nessa Bird and then to Fitzpatrick, the captain. Cavan have vital possession back again, and it's Westmeath. They're having to sit in. They're going to have to rely on a break, and they're now down to the last 6 minutes, so it might get to the stage where only a goal will do for Westmeath. They've done so well today, but they find themselves 2 points down, and it could be worse now, because this is Keenahan, and she comes back out, and there's not as much urgency about the Cavan play now, but they've given it away, and this is where Westmeath will try to hit Cavan on the break, and that's really clever play, moving it through the hands. They've done this a lot, and they have support as well. And now they'll probably look to hit Sarah Dillon, surprise, surprise, and her movement is excellent once again, and she leaves it off. She had good support in there, and now they're 2 points down, and this is Chloe Kelly, comes back out to get it back to Sarah Dillon, and a free has been given.
Yeah, you'd expect Sarah Dillon to put this over the bar now, and there'd be only a point in it then.
Yeah, we expect, because she's been so good, but it's tricky. I mean, there is wind coming across there.
Yeah.
It's over to the left, but they really need it, and she's very, very capable, but it's an important score. An important kick, rather. Has she got it?
Yeah.
She has. Absolutely perfect. If anybody's going to keep them in this, it's going to be her. It's 1-10, plays 1-9, 1 point in it. Into the last 5 minutes. This kick out from Elaine Brady is going to be important. The Westmeath press is on. She just goes high then, and that's gone straight to Fiona Coyle, but she isn't able to take it, and Sinead Green read it beautifully. Leaves it off to Gilson and is trying to go with her. She's been held, doesn't matter. Sheridan has it. Geraldine Sheridan wearing 21, but she started the game, and she's really come into the game in the last 10 minutes or so and has been so important, Aoife.
She's had a great game since she came in and set up a lot as well, and you know, that direct run and defence, it's creating opportunities for the rest of the team too, and now we have a free from it out here. Not sure if it's a kickable free.
Don't think so. Don't think so from there, with that wind coming exactly into her face as well, but great anticipation as well, and out the field there to win that ball by Sinead Green, that started that from the kick out as well, and that's killed the Westmeath momentum a little bit. She goes short, but a really good hand in there, and that was by Niamh Nolan for Westmeath. That was an important interception there to win the ball back for her team. This is Tracy Dillon, sister of Sarah, who's been doing most of the scoring. Can they get it up to her? That's the question. Coyle now showing good urgency and awareness as well. We'll get it back. Dillon is well over to the right and too far up for them to get the ball to, but that's a brilliant ball by Vicky Carr. And Westmeath find another route to goal, and this is Carr again, and she's been motoring really well. Sorry about the pun, but she has been playing so well in this game, and so have Westmeath. Have they got a chance here? They have got a chance, but it's gone to the left and wide. Everything but the finish.
Yeah, that was great passage play, and you know, that it just took a bit of composure there. That was a very kickable score, and she'd be annoyed with herself now for missing that one.
And now it's Westmeath who are snatching. Earlier on it was Cavan, but it's now Cavan in the driving seat, and that's not me deliberately carrying on the puns about cars, but it applies. Gone over the line, it's a Cavan ball. Why is it always when you're winning decisions seem to go for you? 1-10 to 1-9. And Gus Chapman coming over to quieten things down. I don't think the Westmeath sideline was too happy about that, and the referee just calming it down. 3 minutes of normal time to go. And they win it. And that's a lovely turn as well by the substitute to get away. That's lovely play by McCaffrey. And this is Danaher. Cavan now playing with a lot more composure in their game. They're 1 point up. They're nearly there, but not close enough to be comfortable. This is McVitie. They have players over, and Westmeath struggling a little bit to keep up with them. That's a really good strike, you know. And it's over the bar as well. That's a brilliant, brilliant point just when they needed it. That could be a crucial score by Niamh Keenahan off her left foot from distance. She picked that one off really, really nicely, and that could be the winner.
It was a great score, and now Westmeath, you'd think, might need a goal from this point.
Not with kickouts like that. That's the second time that has happened, and it's gone straight to the number 4, Erin Longuer. This is the sub again, McCaffrey. Oh, and look, she finds a little bit of space. It opened up for her, but she's turning and twisting and still on the ball. Well blocked down, but she's going to get a free. She has made a serious impact.
Yeah, you know, you look at your subs and your bench, and when you have players like that to come on and can change a game, actually, the amount of scores that she's actually created from her direct running, and you know, whether it's frees or from play, she's really had a great impact since she came in.
Now McVitie has a chance. playing straight into the wind, and it's just picked up a little bit, so this is tricky. Left footed, 2 points up, this to give a 3-point lead. She judged it absolutely perfectly. It was won by McCaffrey, finished by McVitie.
And Cavan have done great with the kickouts as well, as in the way that they've pressed. They actually just emulated what Westmeath have been doing in the first half.
They changed the direction from the kickouts, but it doesn't matter. It's gone straight to Danaher, and she has won it. Cavan have got vital possession. We're in the last 30 seconds of normal time, and Cavan took a long time to turn this round, but they now have it, and they have the ball. Keenahan gets it from Gilsonen in no particular rush now. And there's a foul. The referee will bring it back as well, and that plays into Cavan's hands, and it's frustration time for Westmeath as we go into added time.
And somebody said something and the ball's been brought in.
Oh, that could be important.
Yeah,
if she puts that over and put 4 points in it, that could be a very costly word out of place.
Yeah. And that's just brought a free that wasn't maybe a kickable score into a position now where it's very scoreable.
So 3 points in it for Cavan. This to make it 4 and maybe put the game out of reach of Westmeath, and she's made it 4. That could be enough. 60.5 minutes gone.
And that's the frustration there on behalf of the Westmeath team. You can see, girls are talking back to the referee and things like that. And they maybe think that this has just gone out of their reach at this point.
Now they really, really need to win this ball. Have they got it, Westmeath? They have. Fiona Coyle has got it. They need a goal and a point. Vicky Carr has led the charge for most of the game. She's got lots of company there, but does brilliantly. But it's turned over, and that was good work by Danaher. Cavan really upped their game in the second half, and the final whistle goes. It's all over, and Cavan have done it. They have done just enough. They took a long time getting there, but they came good in the last 15 minutes of the game, and they have eventually got there, and they have secured senior championship status for next year, and in the end I think they deserved it.
They did. They really struggled to settle into the game, but at the end of the day, I mean, when they came out in the second half, they were really a different team, and you can see the Westmeath girls there on the ground, and they're absolutely wrecked. They emptied everything. I thought Westmeath played brilliant today, probably the best they played all year, to be fair, and they'll be disappointed they're not staying up in senior, but it'll be a really good transition period for that Westmeath team now as well to go through the intermediate championship next year. Not what they wanted, but a great building phase for them, because based on what we saw today, they are a team that could go very well in the senior championship in the future.
You have to feel sorry for Sarah Dillon. What a performance by her, but it just wasn't enough in the end, and it's Cavan who have won the day. Who would be your player of the match, Aoife?
Oh, you're putting me in it now, the player of the match.
I'll show you the team there. You have well, I mentioned Sarah Dillon. She's obviously going to get a mention, even though she was on the losing side, but lots of good performances. A strange one, though, because Cavan were so poor in the first half. They didn't even score from play in the entire first half. Substitute McCaffrey came on and was excellent, but it's a hard one to pick player of the match. I mean, for myself, the likes of Sinead Green was excellent and drove forward at important times in the game, but I'm going to leave the decision to you.
Leave the decision to me, thanks. To be fair, now you could not mention Sarah Dillon, because she was the driving force in the forward line behind that Westmeath team, and she's really hard done by today to not be going away with a win and not being in the senior championship next year. But from the Cavan team, I was going to say Sinead Green myself, because she was driving forward and she really lifted the team. And Sinead had been captain of Cavan before, and you can see out there she's a real leader on the pitch. And she stepped up when Cavan actually needed somebody to be that person for them to raise the game and actually lift the intensity in the game. And Sinead's direct running, that speed that she brings, committing Westmeath players and setting up scores then from that. And I would probably go with Sinead, give Sinead the nod for that.
And overall, a really exciting game, really good game, and to be honest, it was a bit better than I expected, because when you looked at their record between them, they'd played 15 games this year and only one win, and that was way back in the league. So you were thinking maybe, are these two teams lacking in confidence? This could be a poor enough game, but it was a really exciting game.
It was, the way that Westmeath were set up in defence, especially, they made it really, really tough for Cavan, and they transitioned so well. They didn't have as many opportunities in the forward line, but some of the passages of play were brilliant, and you wonder how they didn't actually do better throughout the year, and maybe they just got better as the year went on, because as you said at the beginning, that team has really been gutted from the team that won the Intermediate Championship last year, and maybe it just took them some time to get their act together. It's tough for a management team having a whole new bunch of players and trying to figure out what works at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And just finally then for Cavan, I mean, they came good in the end, and obviously Geraldine Sheridan's goal was crucial. They had a penalty in the first half too, I mean, and they hit so many wides, but they got over the line in the end, and I'd say the manager Jerry Moan out there is just very relieved to come through that. They expected to win today, and everybody expected them to win. They finally got over the line, and they could do quite well next year at senior level, because a lot of those players are obviously talented. They just needed to get their heads right in the first half, but your Gilsonans and Walls and McVitie, Keenan and those players, they eventually showed what they can do, and Deniher in midfield came up trumps as well. They showed what quality is out there, and they've young players like Longear at number 4 and McIntyre there as well, and they should do better next year.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, nearly the whole first half, to be honest, it looked like a bit of complacency had set in, and maybe they came here today expecting to win this a lot easier, and when they got going in the second half, that was more the Cavan team that you would expect to see turn up, and the way that they have been playing. And the other games, there were close games as well, and they've come through them, but I'd say they got a bit of a shock in that first half, especially because Westmeath were very well set up.
Okay, Aoife McDonald, thank you very much for coming down from Donegal to add to the commentary today. We really appreciate that, and we hope that everyone enjoyed the game. Cavan people certainly did, but Westmeath gave it everything as well. A very entertaining game, and it's ended with victory for Cavan, 113 to 19 in this TG4 All-Ireland Senior Championship relegation playoff. From everyone in Pearse Park in Longford involved in the live stream, it's good afternoon.